Alright, you lot. Today we're entering Dark Age. Moment Call of Duty took its first corporate enemy and quietly slipped skill-based matchmaking through back door without even buying us a drink. From Infinite Warfare's sci-fi circus, to World War II's grounded reboot, to Black Ops 4's sweaty fragfest, these games still had spark, still had fun, still had a fucking soul. But this were when algorithms moved in. This were when games stopped asking, how good are you? Started whispering, how long can we keep you playing? COD's greasy SBMM were born, Brian got sneaky, but somehow, these games still slap. Let's peel back skin and see what's festering underneath. Infinite Warfare, game that dropped a trailer and got ratioed into f***ing sun, and still launched with enough content to make modern COD blush. People hated it before it even hit shelves, like it personally f***ed the dog. Why? Space. That's it. Just space. But strip away knee-jerk whining and guess what? It were actually good. Campaign, one of the best in series. Yeah, I said it. You're a space captain. You've got a talking robot psychic, and you're dropping orbital strikes on moon bases like it's your day job. Kit Harington was there too. Completely wasted, of course. But story had weight, emotion, stakes. Something we really get now between operator bundles and cash shop updates. Multiplayer? Fast, vertical, twitchy. Built on BO3 movement system, but cleaner, tighter. Wall running and boost dodging was still king, but gunplay had actual bite. TTK were low, hit detection were crisp, and when it clicked, it was smooth as cyberpunk butter. Breezeweight shadow crept in. SBMM quietly started doing its thing. No patch note, no announcement, you just noticed. Suddenly lobbies weren't wild anymore. You weren't getting those 15-3 with a nuke on Christmas noobs game. Every match felt too balanced, too equal. It were no longer about learning game, it were about maintaining engagement metric. And monetization? Ugly. Real ugly. Supply drops were in full swing, guns locked behind RNG, pay-to-win variants that turned fair fights into slot machine massacre. Want that MV4 Fallout variant? Better pray to RNGesus or bend over and cough up some COD points. And yet, Infinite Warfare were fun. Underneath monetization, leech and silent SBMM, mechanics were tight. Maps weren't awful. Zombies? Amazing. Zombies in Spaceland were colourful nostalgic chaos, like Scooby-Doo on bath salt. It was beginning and end, but not end itself. Infinite Warfare was canary in mine, coughing its way through first fumes of monetization SBMM death spiral, and we barely noticed. After Space Opera Backlash, Activision hit brakes and screamed, "We're going back to our roots." What they meant was, we're gonna slap a World War II skin on the same monetized skeleton and hope you don't notice aimbot behind curtain. World War II 2017 brought us back to boots on ground, iron sights and bayonets. And to be fair, it felt good. Pacing slowed, jump packs were gone, it were grimy, grounded, and looked fantastic on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. Campaign? Solid, gritty, emotional tour of Europe. It didn't break new ground, but it respected tone. It wasn't sci-fi bollocks or a COD acid trip. It were classic war storytelling with some surprisingly raw moments. If you squinted, it even felt like COD 2's grumpy grandchild. Multiplayer? Tight corridors, raw aim duels, no flying robot. Guns like STG-44 and bar rules and division system gave players real class identity for them. It had potential, but then it got slimy. SBMM? It were absolutely there, lurking in code like a sweaty phantom. You'd dominate a few rounds and then suddenly be dropped into a match with MLG wannabes forming at mast and pre-aiming your f***ing soul. Game started playing you, not other way around. This was era where lobbies stopped being random and started being curated suffering. Monetization? This is where floodgates really f***ing broke. Loot boxes with public drops. That's right. You could stand in HQ and watch some bloke open a crate and get heroic weapon variant while you got a sticker and depression. It were manipulative psychological filth, and Activision knew it. Brian got ugly, weapon variants with stat bonuses, contracts and orders that made you log in daily like it were your f***ing job. Cosmetics started creeping into absurdity. Pink leopard camo in World War II? Churchill would have smacked you with a cigar and court-martialed your ass. And yet, it was still fun. Gunplay was satisfying, war mode were a chaotic mess in best way, and for a brief, fleeting moment, it felt like old Call of Duty. Port loot drop, port metrics, port rock fully set. But SBMM were no longer a rumour, It were unspoken law at land, and World War II were the first full game built around it. Welcome to algorithm, soldier. Now we're at Black Ops 4, game where Treyarch said, campaign and give him 3 multiplayer modes and a monetization plan that'd make Vegas pit boss blush. This wasn't just a pivot, it were a f***ing nosedive into arcade chaos, battle royale bullshit, and corporate engineered addiction. No campaign, none. They axed it like a drunken butcher gave us lore snippets via multiplayer intros and comic book. So if you were here for story, too fucking bad. Message were clear. This game wasn't about immersion, it were about engagement. Multiplayer? Fast, lethal, unrelenting. TTK was so low it felt like getting shot with a goddamn railgun. Specialist returned, this time with cooldowns, low darts and enough cheese to make a fondue jealous. Talk spamming razor wire, Ajax hiding behind a riot shield like a coward in a cage match. It were arcade, it were cracked, and it were complete sweat infested. Why? SBMM. Silent, aggressive, and everywhere. Every match felt like a qualifying round for a sponsored 1v1 tournament. Gone were casual lobbies, gone what get better grind. Now it was, here's your doppelganger in skill, stats and suppressed trauma. Good luck, idiot. Blackheart, first CoD Battle Royale, and to be fair, it won. Big map, classic characters, fast-paced looting, but it died faster than you will to play League of Legends after 1 AM. Why? No free-to-play model, and no update cadence. Activision launched it and left it like a bad Tinder date. Zombies, overcooked, oversized, overcomplicated. It had moments. 9 were a gladiator go-fest, but magic were gone. Simple loop had drowned in lordom, convoluted quests, and glitchy boss fight. And as for monetization, thought World War II's loot boxes were bad. BO4 brought in black market reserves, basically RNG disguised as a progression system. Tier-based unlock, limited time event, guns locked behind content drops that required you to play for 10 hours a day or pay up like a desperate whale and eat. It was psychological warfare disguised as cosmetic. Black Ops 4 were when curtain dropped. No more pretending. SBMM ruled lobbies, store ruled UI, and game, no longer your mate. It was your f***ing dealer. But hey, it still played well, still cracked, still twitchy, still fun if you're willing to sell a piece of your soul for a kill cam. Welcome to new normal. And that's Birth of SBMM. 3 games, 3 layers of denial, 1 giant f***ing algorithm sliding into your lobbies like it owned the place. Infinite Warfare gave its first hit, World War II normalised it, and Black Ops 4? That's when it grabbed wheel, blocked doors, and dropped franchise straight into monetization minefield. SBMM wasn't just matchmaking, it was behavioural science in camo. No more steamrolling, no more casual lobbies, just precision engineered suffering tailored to keep you playing and spending. Games still played great, that's tragedy. But now, you weren't playing for fun, you were playing for retention data. Tomorrow we're kicking up and coffin lid with episode 4, Death of CoD, 2019 to 2023. SBMM dials got to 11, store replaces f***ing pause menu, and game becomes a service, not a shooter. Join Discord, follow on X, channel memberships are open if you want full filthy version. Smash like it, subscribe, drop a comment if you survived this far. I might even feature it if it doesn't sound like a corporate press release. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.